Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Texas Family Fitness. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Oh yeah, it's time, y'all. It's time to move forward. Here we're gonna do. We're gonna take this Denver game right here. Done. It's on to Atlanta. Here we go. And it's time to snatch back victory. It's time to snatch back that W that's been in the hands of defeat for the last few days, right? Today we're going to break down the Falcons offense versus the Cowboys defense. We'll hit each unit, the matchups, where to exploit, some of their X factors, some of their weapons over there on the Falcons team. We'll also hit up the Pulse of the Nation hotline, so make sure y'all call into that thing. 351-999-3787. Some of y'all probably like, what the hell is that on the screen? How many of y'all have seen ATL? I see my boy CJ seen ATL. CJ know what I'm talking about there. Give me that dub back, man. We done let, defeat hold the W for a week this week, right? The Broncos did what they did, but we're throwing that game away. It's time to move on to Atlanta, who comes back to visit the Cowboys for the second consecutive year. And I call them a familiar, uncommon opponent, if that makes sense. I'll explain more later because they're a familiar opponent, but there's some aspects to their team, especially on offense, that are completely different. Let me give some shout-outs in the Cowboys Nation here. What's up, Mark? Party with the Stars, TC915, I see you. Mike Harris, Chris Woods, a.k.a. Woody, Derek Smalls, Tamara, my guy, Stevie Mack, the mod guy, CJ loving that ATL clip. Like, how you play ATL this week, Atlanta, and not include some ATL stuff, right? I got to. I ain't gonna lie. Got me some cutty last night. Yo, little scrawny ass ain't getting no cutty last night. All right, I quit. That's enough of my ATL stuff. If you haven't seen ATL, go watch it, man. T.I. Nunu, it's a good movie. It is what it is. Sully, Mark, Charlene, Oscar, a couple Oscars in the building. Kevin, Jacob. What's up, Jacob? Michael, what else we got? 215. Bo Jokes, by the way, welcome to the membership program, Bo Jokes. Salute to you for joining. B Bird, my OG. What's up, man? Iceberg Q said new beats. Something like that. I decided to use our cookout beats just to switch it up a little bit. I've been looking for some new ones too, but I really am feeling this one. I just can't get away from this one right here. I'll let it rock in the back while we play a little bit. Oscar Martinez, Angelica, Amanda, Jordan, Jorge, Captain America, and Tom Downey's burner account. I don't know. I just like that beat, y'all. But yeah, 351-999-3787. Let's get some calls. Let's talk about this Falcons matchup because, before last week, we were glossing towards Kansas City, right? No more. We need to focus. We need to really talk about how this team can get at us because we just saw a team that's not better than the Cowboys, in my opinion, come in and stomp the Cowboys. So we're going to take every single aspect of the Falcons seriously, and today we're going to start with their offense because I think that's what's going to carry that team is their offense. Yes, salute to the chat, man. Salute to the chat. Miss Sheila, I see you, man. What's going on? Marcus and Jerry on Facebook. Facebook, man, y'all been showing up. I appreciate y'all. Hey, do me a favor. Hit that like button for those that are in here early and share this content, especially on Facebook, so we can continue to grow over there on A to Z Sports Dallas. And in the meantime, in between time, check out a2zsports.com/Dallas for all the latest and greatest around the Cowboys. All right. So let's get on to it. There was some news there was some news, and already Marcus is talking about it. Already, Marcus, there's some news that went down yesterday in Cowboys Nation, and it really kind of was quiet until that happened. And a familiar name got brought up, and it's not the one we're talking about here. So let's just get into it in the morning roundup.
Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time! It's time!
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Yes, the morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. I got a text message. Presented by Texas Family Fitness, a solution for your fitness goals. Whether it be weight loss, strengthening up, toning up, sports, or stress relief, our friends over at TFF have everything you need. State-of-the-art equipment, group classes, professional certified trainers, and much, much more. So if you're looking to begin your fitness journey, head on over to any of the 9 locations in the DFW area or visit TexasFamilyFitness.com. What's up, Fresh? So, I don't know, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but Greg the Leg hit the COVID list, and obviously we hope, he's all well, everything, health-wise is good with Greg the Leg. But he's been a bit of a problem for the Cowboys, I guess you can say, with his inconsistencies at kicking. He's 14 for 18 as a kicker in general. Missed a few extra points. One game he's hitting a game winner, a game tie, or another game he's, missing a field goal. He's 3 for 4, or 2 for 3. It's just not been consistent with Greg. With that said, he's out now. He hit the COVID list, and there are some names that popped up. And one of the names that popped up, and I'm not talking about Brett yet. I'm talking about Lirim Harulahu. I bet y'all like, yo, how did you get that, Scott? Yeah, Lirim Harulahu, who's a cat that the Cowboys carried throughout preseason, who I thought was a punter. I don't know. And they may bring him back for the 3rd time in Dallas. He was a guy who's kind of subbed in for Greg the Leg when he had the surgery issue. But the hot name everybody's talking about right now is Brett Maher. Brett Maher is on the short list, ladies and gentlemen, to bring in to replace one Greg the Leg. And at first, I'm like, man, Brett, go and get. I said it on Twitter. I don't want nothing to do with Brett Maher. Then I got to thinking, because somebody said, he can hit those 50-yarders and those 60-yarders. And I'm like, one game. Like, how y'all feel about Brett Maher one game? How y'all feel? I don't know, man. The dude can't kick a goddamn 30-yard field goal to save his life. Anywhere between 40 and 49. He was awful his last time here. So if y'all don't know who Brett Maher is, former kicker for the Cowboys in 2019. He missed 10 kicks and got cut in the middle of the year. And they brought in Cobra Kai Forbath, who ended up going 10 for 10 in his short time in Dallas in 2019. And yeah, I would not mind bringing back Kai, man. Let's get Kai on the phone, huh? Hey, Kai, pick up, buddy. Can we call Kai Forbath? That's what I'm calling. Mike says he can only kick 50-yarders. Yeah. Greg cost us the Bucs game. Sure did. Shaky leg Greg. Fresh said, I'm okay with it for one game. That's what I'm trying to talk myself into it. Like, if it's between Brett Maher and Lirim Harulahu, I get. Uh-oh. Wait, is Kai signed? Oh, no. Okay. I'm just reading the comments here. I don't think anyone has been signed yet, but news may break because the Cowboys can't sit on this. It's Wednesday. The Cowboys play Sunday. Somebody's likely going to get signed today or tomorrow. But they didn't bring in Kai Forbath, so I don't know if he's going to be the guy. With that said, that's enough kicker talk. Even though the kicker position is very important, and we've seen it cost the Cowboys a game and cost a lot of teams games. Got to bring it up. But this might be one of those weeks where I just go for it every time. And then finally, y'all know me, and this is no disrespect to Jerry Jones or those who listens to Jerry's interviews and things like that, because some people really like Jerry's interviews. Me personally, I can't, they're just whatever. He talks in circles. He just says some weird analogies. His stories are awkward. Jerry, good dude, man. Great dude. But when it comes to football, I really don't have anything to listen to do. But he did say on the interview, Denver didn't do anything we weren't expecting. We anticipated it. I went over it carefully with Mike McCarthy before the game. Let me repeat that. I went over it very carefully with Mike McCarthy before the game. What they came out doing, we anticipated completely. We just didn't anticipate them having that kind of success, and they stayed in it. Jerry, what possibly can you go over with Mike McCarthy before the game as an owner? This is what bugs me about Jerry Jones, bro. Just stay in the press box, man. Let the coaches do their thing. Let the coaches coach. There is nothing you're going to tell Jerry or Mike McCarthy that he already doesn't know or hasn't went over. That he probably knows more than what you're about to tell him. Honestly, it's probably the only thing I gave, not only thing, one of the things I gave Jason Garrett credit for was dealing with Jerry Jones and the Joneses or what have you and handling. I thought he handled it well, I thought he handled it well. Mike, I don't know how Mike is handling it or not. I don't know. I think Mike has changed things in Dallas in regards to things getting out and that nature. So I guess he's handled it 6-2. You know what I'm saying? So I just would like Jerry to just come on, man. Let the coaches coach. Coaches coach. B Bird with the donation.
Super chat.
He says Kai Forbath went 10 for 10 at the Cowboys, so it makes no sense to sign. I'm guessing you mean it makes sense to sign him, right? It makes sense. Huh. Yeah, he went 10 for 10. I don't know if he's hurt. I'm surprised he's not on that short list, to be honest with you. I would certainly give him a call. I would give him a ring, but it looks like it's possibly going to be Maher or Lirim Hairulahu. Jacob said the only Jerry interviews I like is when Jeff Kavanaugh pretends to be him. Yes, Jeff has one of the best Jerry impressions I've ever seen. I told him straight up, if I could do that impression like that, I would do an entire show like Jerry Jones. I would, just because. Gotti Baby says, I'd rather have Jeff Heath than Maher. What's up, Tim, on Facebook? So interesting. I looked on the Twitter sphere yesterday, and it came out that Bones Fossil said, in case of an emergency, one of the kickers would be Tyler Biadasz, believe it or not. He would be one of the emergency kickers. I couldn't remember who the other one was, but it'd be Tyler Biadasz. Listen, bro, I feel like Micah could play every damn position. Give Micah a damn shot. Good morning, Michael. Yeah, Lirim Hairulahu. That's how you pronounce it? Oh, you're being sarcastic. Okay, I got you, B-Bird. It's hard to tell between the. So yeah, I feel you. We're basically saying, hey, you want 10 for 10, and Dallas isn't gonna. Yeah, that seems like the things Dallas does sometimes. But I would definitely call him, and I would not rely on Lirim Hairulahu, who was not good in the preseason. Brett for a game, I guess, man. I guess. But all right, what's going on, Trucker's Life? How you doing, brother? I haven't seen you in a bit, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Let me refresh some things here because you know how the internet goes. All right, now that's much better. So, earlier I started to show off and I called the Atlanta team a familiar, uncommon opponent. And I say that because obviously Dan Quinn coached this Falcons team last year. Strangely enough, the watermelon kick happened with Greg Zuerlein, who's not going to be a part of this team on Sunday due to the COVID restrictions. They're different not only due to their coaches. Obviously, there's no Quinn. There's no, I forget who the defensive coordinator is. So there's, I think, Dean Pease, I think, or something like that. He's their defensive coordinator now. Raheem Morris was their DC last year. But personnel as well. And real quick, I'm going to jump ahead, but I'm going to come back. I think one of the major differences in their personnel is this aspect right here. last year, the Cowboys, with one of the worst defenses in NFL history and Cowboys history, were going up against Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. This year, Julio Jones was traded. Calvin Ridley has elected to take a break from football, and he was put on the non-injury reserve list, which means he has to be out for at least 3 games, which means Ridley will not be playing on Sunday. Their top 2 receivers now are Cordarrelle Patterson and Russell Gage. And we'll get into the other weapon we know, Kyle Pitts, later. But that to me is one of the most striking differences this year. And Cordarrelle has actually been very productive. And we'll get into Cordarrelle Patterson. But it's different than the Calvin Ridley. It's different than the Julio Jones. Ridley would route you up. We know what Julio is. He gave us problems last year. Did have a drop pass. And they got out on Dallas early. This team a little different. Now, I know last week they came out and they were thumping the Saints. And then it looked like the same old Falcons. The Saints came back. Falcons eventually drove down, kicked the game-winning field goal. The last 6 games for Atlanta, this is a scrappy team. They've all been 1-score games, including all of their wins. Their 4 wins. They're 4-4. They are 4-2 in the last 6 games, 3-1 in the last 4. So they're getting some confidence. You know, they used to be the team we laughed at for not finishing. I guess you can say they're starting to finish, right? So it's a different team. It's a bit of a more scrappier team. It's an Arthur Smith team. And let's talk about Arthur Smith and talk about this offense, because I think the game will come down to the Cowboys dealing with their offense, which it's really not a spectacular offense. I felt like I said that last week, but I think that offense last week on Sunday, the Broncos, presented more challenges than this Falcons offense. Now, they do have 2 matchup weapons that we'll talk about that the Cowboys, I think, are going to have some difficulties dealing with, maneuvering with, depending how they line them up. So, the Falcons offense, this isn't the regular Falcons offense from yesteryear. This isn't even the Falcons offense from last year. If you look at just kind of the volume stats, they're 21st in scoring. They only scored 21 points per game. They're 20th in yards. They're okay in the red zone, 12th in scoring offense in the red zone, 10th in third down conversions. And I think that has a lot to do with the veteran quarterback, Matt Ryan. I still think they should have took a cue, but hey, it is what it is. Now, this is like I said, an Arthur Smith offense. Let me pull up this offense real quick for you guys, and I'll just let some of this play here. If you guys don't know who Arthur Smith is, he comes from the Tennessee Titans. And remember, the Titans with King Henry, the running back, Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown. You know, last year, I forget who other cat was that went over to the Jets, but different offense over there. Good offensive line, just a different offense. And I feel like he's trying to bring that to the Titans, and it hasn't quite hit yet, and it's only been 1 year. So, not even 1 year. It's been 6-7 games, whatever, 8 games. So it hasn't really clicked just yet, and really 1 year of getting the personnel. But here's the drastic difference with this offense, ladies and gentlemen. In 2020, Arthur Smith with the Titans ran a 12 personnel set 35% of the time, which was most in the league. 13 personnel, which is 3 tight ends, he ran that 3rd most in the league. And 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receivers, he ran that 2nd least. Atlanta last year ran 11 personnel 61% of the time. This year with Arthur Smith, the lowest in the league. So this is a heavy package team. They're going to come out in a ton of 12 with 2 tight ends, a ton of 21 with the fullback. They run 12 personnel in Atlanta this year, the 2nd most in the NFL. They run 13 personnel, the 2nd most in the NFL. They run 21 personnel with a fullback, the 5th most in the NFL. So you got to be prepared for a heavy package team. And as I know it's going to sound crazy because they're not good at running the ball, but they're going to try to establish it. They're going to try to establish it. This is mostly, though, a plotting, methodical offense. Nothing spectacular about this Atlanta offense at all. But with that said, the Cowboys have to be prepared for it, right? They have to be prepared for it. Let me get back into the chat here before I move on and start talking about Matt Ryan. CJ says they're trying to protect their Q. Peter says we got pressure, Ryan. So, CJ, I don't know if it's necessarily all about protecting their Q. I think this is just Arthur Smith. If you go back, and like I said, that's why I wanted to bring up 2020. Arthur Smith in Tennessee is literally, he's bringing that style of offense to Atlanta where they don't spread it out. Tennessee didn't run a lot of 11 last year, and they didn't run any 4 wide. And I don't think that the Falcons, and I could be mistaken, but looking at the statistics and the film, I only watched the 2 games, but they didn't run any 4 wide. They'll bring out one Kyle Pitts and Hayden Hurst, and they'll spread that out, but that's technically 12 personnel. So I think it's more to do with the style of Arthur Smith's offense. And as we move forward here, I'll start talking about Matt Ryan, the run game, and their weapons and their line. But I want to see what you guys are saying. So B. Bird says they don't have Derrick Henry. They don't. And we'll talk about their running game. So we got a Ravens fan in the building. Salute to you, Ravens fan. Will Anthony says Patterson is their leading rusher and top receiver. Yep. Yeah. No more Calvin Ridley. Patterson's going to be a tricky matchup, and we'll talk about that. Christopher says Dallas needs to bounce back in a big way. We'll see how it works. Special teams can't be slipping this week. Patterson rough. Patterson all over the place. All over the place. And Fresh Fade said Arthur Smith loves to establish the run. He's going to be stubborn with it. Yeah. He absolutely is going to be stubborn with it too. Sometimes to a fault, especially, how can I put this? Especially when you got a guy like one Kyle Pitts. I would be stubborn and get him to rock, but he's starting to get it together, but I feel like they're still learning how to use Kyle. But let's get into a little bit of Matt Ryan. Let's talk about Matt Ryan a little bit here. 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for Matt Ryan, 69% completion. Because of the style of offense that Matt Ryan is running this year, he's kind of seeing some career lows in how aggressive he's been. He's usually an aggressive quarterback. He really is. But his intended air yards, his air yards per completion, and his air yards per attempt are all lows. They all are way low. I mean, bottom of the barrel in his career low, which means to me, guys, and B. Bird, you'll like this one. You have to tackle this week. Period. And the reason why I say that is because he's going to try to hit a few of those downfield. But they don't have the Tim Patrick. They don't have the Jerry Jeudy, the Cortland Sutton's out there. They don't. That's why they run what they run. Their deep guy is mostly, and I had a guy on the phone. I'll get you in a second. But their deep guy is mostly Cordarrelle Patterson. But they try to get their playmakers the ball in Cordarrelle and who's a cat? Who's their other running back? Is it Davis? Is it Mike Davis? I'm trying to remember. Yes, Mike Davis. They'll try to get them the ball quick and let the playmakers play. So you got to tackle better than you tackled last week. You also got to remain disciplined on the run game on that backside, but we'll get to that. Matt Ryan, deadly in play action this year. And the Falcons are the perfect example of why it's a myth to say that you need to be able to run the ball productively to have a good play action game. You don't. They're the perfect team to say this. Matt Ryan this year in play action is 77% completion, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he's only been sacked 3 times with a quarterback rating of 129. He's thrown more interceptions, 6, from non-play action on a team that is awful running the ball. I truly mean that. Awful running the ball. With that said, Matt Ryan is your standard veteran quarterback. He can make the throws. He can run the offense. I don't think it's the best offense for him, but he can run it. And if you give him time, he can pick you apart if guys get open. Now, tell you something, Cowboys Nation. If this defense lets these wide receivers work them this week, that's a major problem. That's a major problem. as much as I like Cordarrelle Patterson, I don't think this collective group of wide receivers should beat you down in, down out. Shouldn't do it. Not this week. They do got a cat named, I don't even want to mispronounce it, but I'm going to call him Olamide Z. O-Z. He put a couple dudes on skates last week. I ain't going to hold you. In that red zone, he had two touchdowns. But I'm about to get to some of their pass catchers, and as someone said in here, Kyle Pitts is the guy. But let me get back into the chat and see what you got to say. Peter said, we got to tackle first, then second guy, go for the ball. This week, I don't even know if they should even be coaching going for the ball. It was so bad last week in how they tried to tackle guys and going for the ball. They should just straight focus on tackling, in my opinion. Iceberg said they work the Saints, and I think the Saints defense is better than ours. Sure, matchups make fights, and the Saints is just they're a bad offense. And again, we talk about how offenses can help out your defense, and the Saints offense now with no Jameis Winston is even worse. And they did come back. They even came back in that game. Should have probably won if you really think about it, but nonetheless, I'm not in this offense again, and I'm not trying to overlook because we're going to talk about where the Cowboys need to be good at so they don't beat you. But this is a worse offense than the Broncos. And if that was a wake-up game, if you let this offense get busy on you, it's way more concerning moving forward, in my opinion. It's way more concerning. So let's talk about Kyle Pitts. Everyone wanted Kyle Pitts in the offseason. I was one of those. If you got him, awesome. He's an amazing talent. If not, I'm good with the tight ends we got, and it's been proven our tight ends are fine. With that said, Kyle Pitts is a freak. He's a freak. Runs 4.4, 6'6", 250, whatever he is, and he's their leading receiver right now. 57 targets, leads the Falcons. 36 receptions, are second on the Falcons, and he hasn't found the end zone much. It's kind of something that Matt Ryan has an issue with, getting his big targets touchdowns. We talked about Julio Jones. He rarely had seasons with double-digit touchdowns. He rarely had seasons with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 touchdowns. So far, Kyle Pitts only has 1 touchdown, but he's still a big play tight end. He leads their team with 15 yards per reception. For a tight end is ridiculous. But here's the interesting thing. Where do you line him up at? Because he's been who do you line up over him? Because he's been lined up more as a wide receiver and a slot guy than a tight end, which I don't think is a surprise. So, Cowboys Nation, do you do Pitts versus Diggs? Do you put Diggs over Pitts? Because when you look at their wide receivers, there is no one to really follow. So if I'm going to have Diggs follow somebody, I think it would be Kyle Pitts when he's either A, in the slot. Well, that's a tough matchup. See, that's talk it through. Let's talk it through. Because you put him in the slot. Diggs not a slot guy, but he did follow Mike Evans in the slot week 1. And in my notes I have here, Mike Evans versus Trayvon Diggs. And the reason why is 6'5", he's 6'5". I know Pitts runs a 4 something, but he's not utilized in that way in Atlanta's offense. But nonetheless, he's only lined up as a true tight end in line 107 snaps. Other than that, he's been a slot wide receiver or a flat-out wide receiver. And that is not a surprise to me. That's not a surprise to me. So, yes or no, do you guys think that Trayvon Diggs should star Kyle Pitts this week? Get in the chat. CJ says, I say put Brown on him. Oh, boy. Brown on Kyle Pitts. That's a mismatch. It's a mismatch. Brown's quickness could help him. But if I'm Matt Ryan, I just throw it up. But I don't know. I think I'm still with Diggs. Montana, why are you so hostile, dude? Kyle Pitts is who I thought he would be average. Stop effing overrating these players. My dude, I don't know why you wake up gang banging that bacon. I really truly don't understand it. Nobody is overrating anybody. You gotta relax, fam. Listen, this is the NFL. How on one hand, let me talk to you, bro. How on one hand you going around on YouTube talking about something? I told you to don't underrate the Denver Broncos, but then on the other hand, you come in this week talking about these guys is bums again. Come on, man. As my dude would say, lean forward a little bit. God, you're killing me, fam. Anyway. Mike Harris says either Pitts or Patterson Diggs should line up on. And that's the thing. We'll get to Cordarrelle Patterson. Because Cordarrelle Patterson is going to be a tricky matchup. True Blue says, okay, so J-Ron Curse. Fresh Fade says, yeah, they should line him up on him. CJ in the slot. Boss Man. Boss Man on Pitts. Huh. Interesting. Steve wants to leave Brown on Gage. Peter said, "Don't take no." I'm just saying, man, it don't make sense. I don't want to go too far on that, but that does bug me, fam. Like, what are we doing here? I respect every opponent. I'm not calling nobody the greatest of all time, and I'm not calling nobody trash. Each week, the NFL is tough. Okay, there are matchups here. The Pitts is one of the matchup problems. We're going to talk about them. I digress. Now let's talk about Cordarrelle Patterson. Let's get back into the offensive run game. Or really the pass game. Cordarrelle, period. He runs both. 47 targets, 38 receptions, 459 yards, 5 tutties. And they get him working from everywhere on the field, just like the first 2 plays right here. You'll see him lined up in the backfield. And then you'll see him go outside and catch a deep ball. He's a matchup issue. And this is why it's a matchup issue, because you don't know if he's a receiver on a play or if he's a running back on a play, and that dictates alignment. Because dude runs like a running back, but then he can go out and play wide receiver. He's not great at either of those things, but he has skills. He's quick, he's fast, he's strong. But in my opinion, in the run game, the reason why they don't get off is because their offensive line is not that great. It's just not. It's not that great. So what you got to watch for with Cordarrelle Patterson, guys, is you got to look for the cutback. He likes to run. He likes to try to find that cutback. It's kind of similar to the Vikings game. They came out. They run a lot of stuff with their fullback. They run a lot of things with their tight ends. Big, heavy packages. So we're going to need our edges to be disciplined this week. Remember last week, we didn't have that discipline from the Young Bucks, even from Dorrance Armstrong. So they got to be disciplined this week. In the pass game too, because they do that same play that the Vikings do. Play action one way, roll Matt Ryan the other way. But this time, and with this team, they're trying to look for Kyle Pitts. Nonetheless, Cordarrelle Patterson's 3rd in the league in total yards, believe it or not. And that includes punt return, kick return, things like that. Yeah, Professor O, he says Keith Smith. We all know former Dallas Cowboy linebacker / fullback / everything. Keith Smith still kicking in the league. And he's the leading guy for them at fullback. Good for Keith Smith. He got the bag over there. But let's not sleep on Mike Davis either. He's another one of those tough runners. You get a full head of steam, you got to tackle. Mike Davis is not going to wow you, but you got to tackle the goddamn dude. You can't have one of those games last week, B-Bird, that we talk about. You can't have one of those games. Iceberg says, Scott, do you think we get anything out of Tristan Hill? Sure. You got to get something out of him, right? You got to get some snaps. I don't know that he's going to come in, if he plays this week, and be a savior. I'm more so looking to just see Tristan get back involved. I'm more so looking for the Tristan Hills, the D-Laws, the Neville Gallimores to be ready for that back end of the schedule. None of these dudes are saviors. But the more talent you can get on that front, the better. I'm trying to make sure I use my words correctly here, because last week it wasn't a good offensive line, y'all. It wasn't. We did sack Teddy 4 or 5 times. We pressured him or whatever, but we couldn't stop the run. And I'm trying to find the balance of giving Pat Shurmur credit and the offensive line credit, because I think that scheme worked wonderfully last week. I don't know if this scheme is going to work. And I reckon back, as they say, I'll go back to the Vikings game, y'all. Go watch the Vikings game. It's a very similar scheme. They're not going to spread you out. They're going to pack it in. Not a whole lot of ghost motion things going on. They'll do some things with Cordarrelle, some slingshot things with their tight ends, but they're not really moving pre-snap a lot. And if that's the case, I like this defense to match up against their run game because their offensive line is boo-boo in regards to run block. And one of their guys, the mouse in the house, Jalen Mayfield. Go watch Jalen Mayfield. Yeah, D, they killed us on the edge, talking about the Broncos, but go back and watch the game. They also got a lot of runs in the B gaps and the A gaps too. They did, and it was due to that motion, right? Getting Jerry Jeudy going one way, getting the tight end at the snap, by the way, going one way and coming back the other way, shotgun option stuff to hold the linebacker for a split second. They just flat out ran over Dallas everywhere. And it was weird because one of those games where they had a lot of tackles for loss, but it was either a tackle for loss or 8-yard gain, 15-yard gain, broken tackles. Something that should have been a 3-yarder ended up turning into an 8 to 12-yarder. It was just a bad performance overall last week. This week, I really don't see the Falcons doing a lot of that movement. So if the Cowboys get overpowered this week, we got a problem. We got a problem. But Jalen Mayfield, y'all, is the mouse in the house. So look for Osa this week. Look for Calvin Watkins. I think Calvin Watkins can get busy with Jalen Mayfield. To say that he's struggling would be doing him a positive. He's playing terrible. In fact, he's playing so bad, the Falcons are probably looking at Connor Williams, who Cowboys Nation want to kick off the bus, and be like, please, I'd love to have you over here. That's how bad he's playing. He's given up 5 sacks this year, 31 pressures, 14 quarterback hits from the interior. When you hear us say, pay attention to the rest of the league, go look at some of these other guards, you'll be like, I'm glad we got who we got. Because there's a lot of this around the league. Professor O can attest to it. Those who have to do numbers like that can attest to it. Yes, Jacob, even Carlos Watkins can get busy on Jalen Mayfield. And I'm trying to mince my words here or be careful, because last week I didn't think that offensive line. Think about it, y'all. That offensive line had 3 backups in that game, and the Cowboys couldn't stop the Broncos. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but let's talk about this matchup. Their best offensive lineman is without a doubt Jake Matthews, one of the most steady left tackles in the game. Not a Pro Bowler, not an All-Pro, not a Hall of Famer, just very steady, especially in the passing game. He's been one of the best pass blocking left tackles since he's come in. This year, though, he hasn't been great in the run game. In the last few weeks, he's struggled with some of Carolina's speed and some of New Orleans' speed. So, hello, Randy Gregory. You want to get your wine. He talks about wine during the pregame and things like that. Got to bounce back. No sacks last week. Some pressures. I think he would tell you not his best game. I think the whole team would tell you we came out there, we just thought we were going to roll our helmets out. We was going to beat on the Broncos. And the Broncos said no. We're going to out-physical you. Sean said Randy Gregory will play very hungry. Urban is on IR and can't return for 2 more weeks yet. We'll get Brent Urban back later, I believe, probably in December. Take Care Man on YouTube says this should be a good game with so many storylines. Yeah, and that's the thing. You heard what, and I'm going to get to here in a quick second, Marcus. You heard the biggest storyline, without a doubt, is Dan Quinn coming back to play the Falcons. Dan Quinn said, I don't care about that. No trips down memory lane. We got shit to fix. And I'm with him. The Cowboys beat the Broncos. It'd have been cool to do all that stuff. Don't care about none of that. Dan is probably going to come out here wanting to whoop on these dudes. And I hope the Cowboys defense comes with that same energy. We got my guy Marcus on the line. What's up, Marcus?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, but how are you?
Oh, hey, I'm pretty good. Let me hold on. I want to walk my wife out to her car because I'm a gentleman. Hold on a second.
Hey, take your time, brother. Take your time. Iceberg says pressure all day. Fresh fade. That's why I'm saying we got to send some noise at Matt. Just can't let him get comfortable. This and Fresh, I'm gonna come back to that. What's up, Marcus?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? You know, I got to walk the wife out to the car, man. You know how it is.
Hey, man. Hey, chivalry is not dead.
Hey, man, but a lot of these women trying to kill it, man, being all independent. Anyway, hey, y'all, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. Let's go. Get out of here talking about let's go Texans. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Come on now.
Don't. Exactly. I think that this is going to be a very perfect bounce back game because I think the Falcons are set up to play against the defensive strengths, which is basically being technically sound and collapsing the pocket. And I truly believe that if they just remain technically sound, flying to the ball like they were the previous weeks, I don't think they're going to have any issues. I think last week's game was like this complete anomaly. Like everything that they had as a strength, a defensive strength, they literally didn't do. Like all of the things that they were known to do in those previous weeks, they did none of it.
Yeah, it was all around travesty.
Yeah, it was a weird game. And then for the game to not even be televised, it was kind of like all the things were lining up for this to not be a really good game. I believe that. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, after listening to a lot of the players, even the coaches, McCarthy even said, I think what he was really trying to say, you read between the lines, is I overcoached the penalties. What he's saying is, I pretty much said, screw what the Broncos are going to do. Let's focus on how we can be better disciplined in regards to penalties. And I feel like that was a mistake, and I don't think that he'll do that again. You can't overcoach penalties, fam. Let that go. You need to be in the lab figuring out how to beat the next opponent. I don't think the Cowboys, and a lot of these penalties, let's think about it, man. A lot of these penalties is bullshit. I mean, just be real. It's because you got the star on your helmet. Listen, you can't coach that.
Dude, like you can't. This is the thing. I think, people have always asked me, like I've had a few Cowboys fans like, man, they got penalties that have cost us games and they've cost us position in the game. I said, you know what you have to do in order to eliminate those penalties? It's real easy. Chunk plays. When you get consistent chunk plays, those are the plays that least get the penalties, like a holding call or whatever. You got to be fast and you got to get chunks and you got to be fast to the ball. But when you're walling around, kind of sauntering to the line and, I'm going to take my time. Like, no. You have to take it's like a UFC fight. Or a boxing match. You're not going to leave it in the hands of the judges. Right. I was doing my part, so I'm just going to go to a decision. No. You take the decision out of it. You go for the knockout blow.
And for the most part, that's what Dallas was doing the first up until the Patriots game. It was pretty much a lot of knockout blows to where these penalties really didn't harm the Cowboys. Even really the Falcons or the Vikings game, there were some penalties and they overcame them. So it was strange that he came into this week saying, I want to overcoach penalties when you should have been overcoaching a defense over there that's a really good scheme that gave the Cowboys trouble. We forget that scheme gave Dallas trouble, but I credit Vic Fangio for switching up what he does and kind of loading that box. So they got out-coached, man. They got outplayed. It was just all around bad.
And you know the thing, and the thing about Vic Fangio, people were getting all Cowboys Nation, the fans were getting all mad because what he said in his post game, he literally said what any coach would say going up against their opponent. He took up for his guys, and he felt that, hey, of all the teams that they played, we're the only team that played them the way that we did.
Yeah, he said something like teams were playing the Cowboys wrong. I mean, hey, Vic, talk your stuff, bro. Say it with your chest. You just smashed and embarrassed the Cowboys. But I urge, like Dak Prescott said, please.
We're not going to let that happen again. We'll never feel this way again.
Well, the whole copycat thing, when he said, please do that. Continue.
That's all I need.
Give me one-on-one with Michael Gallup and Cooper and Lamb.
Right.
And go ahead, please. It was an off game. It
happens. Right. And I love his leadership because he doesn't make excuses. He says, this is a horrible feeling, and I'm going to make sure that we don't feel this way again. That's all I can ask for. That's when I hear my quarterback say that,
no penalty.
I'm good. Because, again, it starts at the top, trickles down to the soldiers. Remember, we talked about the whole, the commission, the ladder.
The Sicilian mob is what you called it.
The La Cosa Nostra, this thing of ours. And I'm like, they really have that mentality. And I'm like, everybody has had a jacked up game. But I think they need to keep Micah in the middle. I think they need to keep J-Ron Curse with the green light. They need to do whatever they can to collapse that pocket because Matt Ryan is not mobile at all. So if you collapse that pocket, it's a wrap. And then you don't have to worry about Randy Gregory. You don't have to worry about the edge. You collapse that interior pocket, it's a wrap. That whole game plan for the Falcons, down the drain. That's all I got. As usual, God got his hands all over you, bro. Keep pushing forward. Keep thriving. Hey, Cowboy Nation, I got a quote for you. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act. It's a habit. That's Aristotle.
Hang that up in my house. Appreciate you, Marcus. Couple things I want to get at there, but let me get into Special K because you're absolutely right. He says, I was rewatching the game the Broncos did what the Patriots and Tampa Bay tried to do. The difference was Dak was on point in the other two games. And that's why I said, please, go right on ahead. No, if that's what you want to do, that you're not. I don't think Dak Prescott is going to have these type of games more than he's going to have those type of games, Special K. So, yeah, by all means. And the thing is about those coordinators you talk about. Think about it. Vic Fangio, one of the most respected and one of the best DCs in the league. Todd Bowles, one of the most respected, one of the best DCs in the league. And obviously, Bill Belichick is just one of the most respected and best football minds in the history of the game. So, and it didn't necessarily work. Now, I know it was a close game for the Patriots game, but Dak put up 500 on them boys basically, and not for some bullcrap penalties and some bullcrap calls in the red zone and whatever. It is what it is. Things happen. So yeah, I welcome it. I truly do. I welcome it. Brian said, did Connor Williams have a penalty last week? No, Connor Williams was good on Sunday. I mean, I know the line in general was not, but Connor wasn't bad. Bad Connor. He said something in that, and I seen somebody say something in the chat. He said Micah Parsons played middle linebacker. I'm actually this week leaning towards him getting after the Q. Now you can do that from the middle linebacker position. We saw it against the Broncos. They blitzed him from the middle linebacker position. They created one-on-ones in the A and B gaps against those guards. And I said this before, Micah one-on-one against the guards or Randy one-on-one against the guards, it is a mismatch. I'm not confident in this run game. Last week was different. We tried to talk about Gordon and we tried to talk about Javonte Williams. That's a tough game, running backs, a tough run game. I felt like you needed to be in the middle. This week, it's early. It's only Wednesday. I could change my mind come Sunday, but I think I'm leaning towards Micah Parsons getting after Matt Ryan with Randy Gregory this week. It's been a while since he's played primarily on the end, and I think this might be one of those games because their run game, their run scheme, their interior line is just not good in the run blocking department. So I feel like you should be able to hold up with your backers and your D line. So I'd give it a shot. I'd maybe try out what we did against the Patriots where Micah started off on the front and they start running on them boys and it was like, nah, never mind. So I think I'm leaning towards that, so don't kill me, Cowboys Nation. Vince wants to talk O-line. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Cowboys offense against their defense, I promise you, but we can dabble in it if y'all want. Let's get 432 up in here. 432, what it do?
Hey, what's going on, guys? DJ checking in, brother. How you?
What's up, DJ? Let me get you saved here. I'm good, brother.
Hey, man, So basically, I just wanted to ask. I had a conversation last night. I don't think so, but would you say, because it's funny that you just brought up Michael Parsons right now.
Yeah.
Would you say, because we were talking about Cordarrelle Patterson, and I was like, well, I thought I had was like wherever Cordarrelle kind of goes, Jalen kind of follows. If he's in the backfield, he's lining up outside. He'll go out with him to the perimeter if he's going there. But I don't think he's ready for that coverage-wise.
You talking about Micah?
What's your thoughts on that, brother?
You talking about Micah?
Yeah, Micah.
Yeah. As much as I love Micah and his athleticism, I still believe, and this is for most linebackers in this league, there's only a handful where you say that's not a mismatch, a receiving running back against a linebacker. But I think if I'm the Falcons and Micah in the middle, I do try to isolate Micah on Cordarrelle Patterson. At the end of the day, Cordell's really a wide receiver. You don't want him on Micah one-on-one. So that could be another reason why I say let's put him down there at the line of scrimmage and let him harass Matt Ryan. And he plays well in the run game too, but it's a tricky matchup though, right? Because what if they come out and there's Mike Davis and there's Cordarrelle Patterson, and now you put Micah on Cordell, and now you motion Cordell out into the slot. That's a matchup I don't welcome.
Yeah.
I don't welcome Micah on Cordell out in the slot. I don't.
Fair enough. And then I haven't watched a whole bunch of film. I don't have all 22 or anything like that, but I did catch a couple of snaps from just people playing stuff over time. Mm-hmm. And I think, man, like interior-wise, if the line is what you say it is, and they're a step down from even what we played last week, I think the interior of the line is going to be fine with Osa out there at least. And then if we're going to mix Tristan back in, because Osa's shown more early than what Tristan did early.
Yeah.
But I think today they're about even, right, as far as their penetration ability. So I think if we're just mixing that back in, I think your whole game, the game plan that you were talking about will be just fine, except we don't really need to mix it much up, except for maybe put Mike on the edge like you said. But overall, I'm not too worried about it as long as they can keep Pitts in line, keep Cordell in line, and they'll be just fine as long as they can get to Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I think the Falcons interior, I mean, they have a player. Chris Lindstrom is a really good young guard. He's their best interior guy. He didn't play much his rookie year last year. He started to put together, and this year he's showing that I'm a top 15 pick. He was a top 15 pick. Other than that, though, like I said, man, Jalen Mayfield is awful. Their center is an average center. And as a team, they don't run block very well. It's really a lot of man stuff. Some zone to get some backside cuts from Davis and Cordarrelle Patterson, but it's more or less they literally just run so that they can get some play action. That's what they don't run to try to bury you. They haven't had many great running games this year. In fact, they only had 2 games over 100 yards total running the rock. So they're not a productive running team. They only do it to make sure they can get some action off of it. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I'm overly concerned about their run game, especially on the interior. I would worry about tackling. You just got to tackle Cordell. You got to tackle Mike Davis. These guys run tough. And if you give Cordarrelle Patterson an inch due to his speed, he can take him out.
Well, last thing, I'll let you go, brother. This made me think of a question. As far as when he, let's say offense is back to what they've been doing all season, right? And they're putting up points and they're doing all that. And, of course, Atlanta has a propensity from at least the games I've watched to get away from the running game anyway, like you were saying.
Right.
So at that point, the run game's not really a focus. How would we counteract? I mean, where are we putting Trayvon? Is Trayvon following somebody, or is he just playing right? Or how would that go in your mind?
So earlier in this show, I talked about matching up Trayvon on Pitts. I asked the nation. I ask you, do you put Pitts or do you put Diggs on Kyle Pitts? And due to how he lines up, which is mostly in the slot and out wide, I think I do that. I think you don't have necessarily a mismatch with Diggs inside. He's still a corner. He still has that quickness, that twitchiness. He can open his hips very well. And Pitts is a 6'6" wide receiver / tight end. So he's not one of those shifty guys that can hit you with a Cole Beasley move. And there's no disrespect to Kyle Pitts, the route runner. He run good routes, but I think I would treat Kyle Pitts like the Cowboys treated Mike Evans. And what they did was they moved Trayvon Diggs everywhere Mike Evans went, who is 6'5", right? Big guy. And I think I would do that with Trayvon Diggs. That's where I'm at with it right now. So if they try to spread it out, the Cowboys get up and they can't run, they don't have a ton of weapons. We know Russell Gage. He played well against the Cowboys last year, but he's not, anybody you fear. Cordarrelle Patterson is Cordarrelle Patterson. He's good because of his versatility, but strictly as a wide receiver, he's an average wide receiver with traits. And then you got Kyle Pitts, who is Kyle Pitts.
Well, and at the end of the day, you always have a boss man who played him less than 11 months ago. So, all right, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate the call, man.
Yes, sir.
And you're right, Will Anthony. Let me not forget that Hayden Hurst is another receiving tight end that they like to use. I think it's one of the main reasons why they like to go double tight a lot. It's because Hurst can be in line a lot and be – he's very Dalton Schultz-ish. Very Dalton Schultz-ish. Tony from Tampa. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's up, man?
I'm chilling, man. How are you?
I ain't nothing, man. Same old thing, man. First I want to shout you out, man. Number one morning show in the country, man. I ain't nothing like it, man.
My God, appreciate you.
Beautiful thing, man. But I think Cowboy Nation, man, I think we be getting a little bit, after last week, man, we be panicking, man, But you got to understand, like, teams like the Broncos, the Chargers, they're all built to, they're all built for teams like the Chiefs and the Chargers with a lot of quick motion. That AFC West, them teams are built for each other, built to go against each other. And I think they caught us by surprise with a lot of that, motion. And, they built to go against teams that do a lot of stuff, man. And it caught us by surprise a little bit. This week, everybody know what Matt Ryan is, man. He's been around the league for forever, man. Everybody know you put pressure on that boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody know that he ain't, you put a little pressure on him, he gonna fold up, man. And he ain't really running out of there or nothing like that. He ain't gonna, you ain't really got to worry about him running for real. So they put a little pressure, and then Dan Quinn, he don't know the plays because they are all new plays, but he know the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He knows. He's been up against Matt Ryan in training camps and his defense, and he knows what tricks him and what gets him. You know what I'm saying? Riled up.
That's a very good point that I kind of glossed over because I said they're a familiar opponent, but it also an uncommon one at the same time. Well, where they're most familiar at is quarterback, obviously. And Quinn was literally, side by side in those rooms, inside of Matt Ryan's head for 6 years or something like that, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So he knows his little ticks that gets to him. And you're right, Matt under pressure this year has been a bad Matt Ryan. He's thrown most of his picks when he's blitzed, and under pressure his numbers
most of his career. Playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs and stuff like that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like playoffs and stuff like that, man. You seen him, man. When they put a little pressure on him, hit him in the mouth, man, he gets all confused, man. I ain't saying that this is an opponent that we need to overlook. We don't need to overlook nothing.
No. We're just trying to figure out how to combat them,
Yeah. What I'm saying is, man, I think our team is built to play against this type of team. Just like I say, the AFC West teams are built to play against those types of teams that do a lot of motion, a lot of quick stuff with Tyreek Hill, and they're built to go against that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great observation.
Yeah, the Falcons, pretty much, man, I think our defense is catered to stopping a team like this. You know what I'm saying? Like a team like this week, we're fast, we ain't too big, that's the type of stuff, that speed right there, the speed that we have. I think it matches up great with them, man. As far as Kyle Pitts, I would put either Diggs or Nashawn Wright on him. You know, I would Nashawn Wright, man. Hey, look, it's time to go, man. It's time to show me, you know, a little something. You know, shadow him. Don't worry about nothing but him. You know what I mean? Nashawn Wright, what is he? How tall is he? He's like 6'4", right?
He's 6'4", but realistically, I don't think they're going to do that. Like I think Nashawn Wright is just not in the plans at corner. So that's why I'm not even brought it up. When you look at it from the back end, 6'4" against 6'6", it makes sense, but I just don't see him being part of their plans yet.
Yeah, if we was playing basketball, that would be a good matchup. But I think I think Diggs then, man. You know, I will have to put Diggs on him, man. But that's it, man. That's my little input for the show. My Cowboy Nation, don't panic, man. You know, we gonna get it, man. You know.
I appreciate you, Tony from Tampa.
All right, man.
Hey, drive safe, brother.
Have a good day, man.
You too. Definitely made a good point there that I didn't really think about, and it's how those teams are built. You do build your team to beat your division, mostly you try to. But I think the Cowboys are actually trying to get in that mode of being able to defend those kind of offenses. And that's why I said yesterday the Broncos game kind of shook me back into reality. We talked about the Cowboys struggling with that kind of system. All that movement, all that. That was something they've historically struggled with due to the personnel. They didn't have the kind of personnel to match it. But Quinn was trying to bring that in, right? That's why he drafted a bunch of versatile players who could stand up, put their hand down. That's why he drafted Michael Parsons, who has that speed. Jabril Cox. Like, they're trying to build that mode to be able to defend a multitude of offenses. But at this very second, they are still best equipped against, like he said, this kind of offense or the Vikings kind of offense, et cetera, et cetera. And really, the Eagles technically can do a lot of that, but I don't know. Their coach is kind of spacey over there. But yeah, great observation. And he talked about the pressure on Matt Ryan. See, now I'm leaning even more, y'all. Talk me back if I'm wrong. Talk me back if I'm wrong, but I'm really feeling Michael Parsons on the line of scrimmage this week. If not on the line of scrimmage, I'm feeling him more coming forward as a blitzer, as a pass rusher this week. Maybe in more of a 3-4 look, 4-3 under, whatever you want to call it. I think I want to see Micah getting after Matt Ryan more this week, y'all, because he's right. He blitzed, he throws his most interceptions. When he's under pressure, most quarterbacks are percentages down, but he's been bad under pressure this year. So I wonder where Mike is working. If I was asking the questions this week, I would ask Mike McCarthy. He's probably not going to tell me, but I try to read between the lines. Where y'all got Mike at this week, man? I think I'm feeling that. Let's get into 831, then 813. What's up, 831?
Good morning, Skywalker. This is Nacho from the Bay up here. How you doing?
Good morning, Nacho. I'm good, brother. Just trying to talk this through and see how we can match up with these Falcons.
Wonderful. Yeah. So my take is, I think it's pretty clear that obviously we had, the worst game, of the season, from top to bottom, the coaching staff, the scheme. First time that we probably saw maybe our coordinators, not really quite find a way to adjust and make adjustments.
True.
We were always, in a sense, kind of ahead of the game, with these other teams, and we were able to make the adjustments and able to be on flow. It is what it is. I think it's a learning experience, and as much as, many fan base or maybe the media, of course, trying to share light into, okay, this might be the, copycat league and this might happen. For myself, I look at it as, hey, it was a rude awakening. We were riding high. We came off of a very big, I thought, emotional win on the road against the Vikings, where they had to play up to a high level without their starting quarterback, and we got a W, and then we come home thinking, okay, I heard that probably 30 to 40% of the fan base was Bronco fans, which gives me the idea that the Cowboy fan base said, okay, I'm not too worried about this game. Let me sell my tickets, which I do not like. But now it's that kind of midline into the second half of the season where this football team has got to put it all together. We're going to find out the true character of this football team. The coaching staff is going to be challenged from here on forward. And I'm excited. I strongly believe in what the coaches have going on. This is a special season. I've been saying that. And I'm just intrigued to see what we're going to do on Sunday and moving forward. Hopefully getting everybody back, Tank and those guys back. And I think it was pretty obvious for those who questioned, Tyron Smith at left tackle, having him out.
I hope nobody was questioning that.
I have some of my buddies back home over here, we always kind of go back and forth, and they're like, we need to get rid of Tyron. He's always injured. And I'm like,
I will live with Tyron Smith missing 2 to 3 to 4 games if he's going to play, 12 to 14. I'm good. I would live with it.
I think it's pretty obvious that without him in there, it's kind of very similar to what people have said. When Tyron's out of that lineup, that line kind of gets shifted. Back in the days when Sean Lee used to be out of the defense, and then all of a sudden, like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I compared it to yesterday. Yeah, he's a Sean Lee of the 2010s.
Right? I thought I heard you say that, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I think that's a fact. So, lastly,
in closing, brother. In closing.
I really feel that hey, let's go forward. Let's do what we got to do. We're in the thick of things. We're a team that's in the top 5, 2 losses. Hey, it's what we do from here on forward that's going to make our season.
Indeed.
Thank you, and thank you for taking my call. And the best show in the morning because it allows the flexibility in the fans to voice their opinions, and literally we are able to be on live, and for that, that's priceless. Thank you very much.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for calling. I try to include the fan base. I say it all the time. It's not just me here, man. It's just me and the Cowboys Nation. So I appreciate that. Let's get back into the lines. 813. What it is? What it do? Whoa. Hold on, that's loud. Before I bring you in, it's like a reverb, brother. Y'all can't hear it out there in the chat, but I can hear this bounce back coming, man. Say again. Yeah, that's better. That's better. There's some crackling, but that's better. What's up? What you got for us?
Yeah, good morning. What's up, AZ Sports Cowboys? Man, Cowboys should have won us, man. I'm a Bucs fan, but Cowboys should have beat the Broncos. But I was shocked. But man, which team are you scared of? OBJ goes to the Packers, the Saints, or the Chiefs? It's getting scary now. I don't want him to go to Green Bay though. I prefer him to go to Kansas City. Go to the AFC.
Chiefs.
Odell Beckham.
All right, I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna have you hang up, and I'm gonna answer that question on air. Okay.
Okay.
Right, appreciate the call, man. We got through it. His question was, who would I be most nervous? I ain't using that word, scared. With Odell Beckham going to the Packers, Saints, or Chiefs. If he goes to the Chiefs, I don't care. That's in the AFC. Saints, I don't care. They don't have a quarterback. I don't think he would want to go to the Saints. So obviously declare the Packers. Get A-Rod with Devontae Adams and a hungry Odell Beckham. Yeah. 479. What it is, what it do.
Hey, Sky. How's it going, man?
Good morning, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well here in Arkansas. I was just listening to one of your previous callers talking about how we might go about handling their kind of lackluster run game and then just automatically converting to the pass.
Right.
And it brought me back to basically how we ran our run game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, and Kellen Moore even came out and said that a part of our run game, the way we manufactured our run game, was through those short passes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they can do with Cordarrelle Patterson. I mean, we just got to be ready for those wide routes that are 2-3 yards downfield or sometimes behind the line of scrimmage, and they're going to try and put it in his hands and let him make plays. It's all about gang tackling, getting everybody rounding up around the ball, and that's where Mike is going to come in, which is why I wholeheartedly agree with you that I'd like to see Micah out on the edge and getting after Matt Ryan, him being older, less mobile. You had some B film rolling behind you of him going against the Panthers and the beating that he took. And I just think that I would love to have Micah at linebacker, but this year I think you're absolutely right that I think this is a game where he plays on the line, gives some speed and power, and gets through their line along with a pissed-off Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
I think a pissed-off Randy Gregory should scare any lineman, even if they're really good, and these guys are not. So I think you're spot on, man.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I'm looking at, and Caleb McGarry is another tackle he's okay. He's average. There's nothing special about him. And when I say Caleb McGarry, he's the right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons, who I think that Micah can give trouble. He's a big dude, heavy-footed dude, and Micah's been crushing guys like that this year that can't contend with his speed. Micah's still working with it, on his hands. But McGarry's given up 18 pressures this year, and he's had some games where he's given up more than 3. So I'm still leaning towards it until I can be told otherwise. Yeah. I can't see a reason to just stick Micah at linebacker and then not send him. If you're going to put him at linebacker, then blitz him this week. But you're right about the Falcons, and I said this earlier in the show. The Falcons will try to get the ball into their playmakers' hands, and that can be an extension of the run game because they don't have one. If you go look at last week they ran for 34 yards. This is their numbers this year as a team. 55 yards, 69 yards, 99 yards, 72, 82, 34. They just don't do it in a productive manner, and they really just don't care to be productive. They just want to do it to keep you honest, and they just want to do it to set up their play action. That's what I saw in the games against the Saints and the games against the Panthers, because both of those games were games where they could have stuck with the run, but they're not good at it.
Yeah.
So it came down to Matt Ryan.
And I think the reason I have faith and I take solace in what we got, and I think last week was just an all-around, like they all woke up with a hangover, it seemed like, but I see it as, what did we do against all the weapons that Minnesota had?
They played their best defensive game all year.
Yeah, even with the cherry on top for our crappy week, no Dak Prescott. What do we end up doing? Shutting down Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen has two big plays, but hell, man, he's going to do that to a lot of good teams.
Yeah, and Styles make matchups, right? We went into that Vikings game and we said one of the blessings that the Cowboys don't have to worry about is Irv Smith. The Vikings tight ends were not good, and one of the weaknesses still that the Cowboys have to work through is matching up against tight ends. Well, Kyle Pitts is going to be one of those matchup guys. And one of the guys in the chat, or ladies, my bad, said that maybe J-Ron Kearse too, because J-Ron has that size. So I think I'd go J-Ron and Trayvon Diggs, just kind of match up and play around with Pitts.
Yeah, and my last thing, man, is just I think that Tank Lawrence, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I think he is going to be a linchpin once he gets back. Sure. Something that brings solace to the entire line, and that feisty attitude he's got, and his ability to attack the run. Very, very underrated defensive end in his running game aspect, which means those outside carries that they are trying to run away with. I think those get cut down by a substantial margin.
Sure.
And I also think that Jaron Curse. As much as I love what he's doing and everything, I put Trayvon on him, on Kyle Pitts, and see what the day brings. They don't got Calvin Ridley. I feel comfortable more and more each week with Anthony Brown to cover whomever. But what is most important is your pass rush helps your defensive backs.
Yep.
So if we can find a way to get home, and if Osa can show himself up, Justin Hamilton, those guys, and then of course if Randy can get back there and pressure the hell out of him, I feel a lot better about this game. I had to sleep. I work nights, so I had to sleep through the Broncos game, thank God. But
we got through it.
It was one of those ones where, yeah.
Hey,
All right, man.
Appreciate the call, man.
I appreciate it, Scott. Take it easy, man.
You too. So TC. Man, see, now you got me thinking again. I hear you, TC. TC said, he said those short dump offs to Patterson is the reason why I want Mike at linebacker to roam sideline to sideline. You can still blitz Micah from that spot, which is the saving grace for me of keeping him there, because you can still blitz him. And then he says we've been getting killed by running backs catching out the backfield. Micah is fast enough to get silent to sideline. Be careful though, and you saw a couple of these plays. They will design Cordarrelle Patterson getting a Texas route or a wheel route out the backfield where it's not just your typical, oh, I'm just going to run into the flat. Because Micah has been good at those running to the flat type of things. But I'm not comfortable with Micah having to be downfield or dealing with option routes against Cordarrelle Patterson. That's why I think it's a tricky situation to deal with, because Micah in general playing a zone or playing an area like the flat, sure, against Cordarrelle Patterson. But if I'm Atlanta and they come out and Micah's is the middle linebacker and Micah's a green dot, which is not going to be the green dot, but Micah is the matchup with Cordarrelle, I'm licking my chops. I'm going to say, okay, motion out, one-on-one with Micah Parsons and Cordarrelle Patterson. It's a matchup problem all day. You design Cordarrelle Patterson to get an option route or get a wheel route. That's a matchup problem. So I don't know if I want to do that. I hear what you're saying, if they do decide to dump it off, but there's different ways to get Cordarrelle Patterson the ball quickly. And I mean, I'll pull up one of the plays. Let me see. It's very early. Now it's not there yet, but it's very early in that highlight where they utilize him down the wheel route twice. So just got to be careful. It's a tricky matchup. He's not this great player, but he's a matchup problem. My guy Vach in the building. What's up, bro? Jacob, what's going on?
What up, Sky? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you?
I'm doing great, man. I woke up this morning. Hey,
right.
let me tell you something. I'm kind of with that guy in the chat. I want to keep Mike at linebacker.
We'll keep him at linebacker.
Only because of what.
Yeah, what you got for us at Mike at linebacker? Because I can be talked back into it. But right now I'm feeling.
It's kind of like you mentioned, the sideline to sideline type of deal. Like, I don't want him banging head to head with the tackle all game, and then it slows him down a little bit. We mentioned the tackle in McGarity. I think we have what's his name, Basham, who could win that matchup, along with maybe like a Goldston or an Armstrong, who could set the edge on the outside.
Okay.
And I feel like if you line Patterson out on the slot, I feel like Jordan Lewis that one year when Alvin Kamara when they played the Saints, Jordan Lewis kind of shut him down. I feel like he could do the same thing with Cordarrelle Patterson, even if he's coming out of the backfield, kind of like as a spy.
Wait. See what you said there. Even if he's coming out of the backfield, if they come out in 12 personnel, Jordan Lewis is not on the field. You see what I'm saying? So that means if he motions out the backfield, now you're one-on-one with Micah Parsons or whoever the linebacker is out there. And really, it's a mismatch in general. But no. I hear what y'all are saying, and I want you to continue to talk about what you're saying here with the sideline to sideline speed. That is something that would make it very intriguing to keep Micah there. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, even if they did line up into 12 personnel, we mentioned Trayvon on Kyle Pitts. And that would just leave Micah. I guess he could cover Cordarrelle coming out of the backfield. I mean, I know not the whole route, but maybe you could give him some help with Jordan Lewis or Anthony Brown. I know because Anthony Brown was playing the other corner.
AB would be playing Russell Gage or whoever they decide to run out there opposite of if Cordell's in the backfield, they're struggling at receiver right now. No Calvin Ridley, no Julio. They're struggling at receiver right now.
Yeah. So I mean, either way, I just feel like they could match up defensively to the Cowboys, and then I'm not really worried about that other tackle that the Falcons have. I think we have enough defensive end weapons to beat that.
Yeah, that's where I want to get at because I can hear you there. That's a good point. Do you think that Terrell Basham and Dorrance Armstrong, I don't know you're going to get any Bradley and Nye called up, but can those guys get that constant feared pressure on the opposite side of Randy Gregory? Maybe you do opposite. Maybe you start off opposite of what I was saying. You start off with Micah in the middle, and you see if you can get some pressure generated by Basham and generated by Dorrance Armstrong, and then you feel comfortable keeping Micah there.
I mean, we seen this before, Stan. With this, I'll let you go, man. We seen this before. I saw it in the Denver game, like I mentioned. I was there live. I saw Osa at one point lined out as a wide 5 as a defensive end.
Oh yeah.
What if he kicks out there and then we know Tristan Hill's coming in, so just to put that speed along the defensive line.
Well, that's one of
added.
those amoeba formations where Dan Quinn lines up people all over the damn place, and he has them all standing up and things like that. That's not something you're going to see consistently, but yeah, that's a possibility. I still don't like Osa playing out there as a wide 9 technique. That's not his strength.
Yeah, same here. Just something to get this pass rush going. So, all right, Scott. Well, I'll let you go, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it as always, Jacob. My guy, Special K, he said, Micah can carry Cordarrelle Patterson downfield. Athletically, sure. And that's the thing, right? Like, Micah has the speed. Micah has the athleticism. Micah has the tools. But we've also seen Micah struggle when asked to do that because he still is learning that. I've seen him get worked with the Patriots in that aspect. I've seen him get worked against the Panthers in that aspect. The Broncos didn't necessarily try to do that because they don't got guys to do that. Like, no offense to Gordon and no offense to Javonte Williams, those dudes are more brute type of guys. And it's crazy because Gordon used to be a pass catcher, but he's not a route runner guy. So I don't know that I have 100% confidence in Micah dealing with Cordarrelle Patterson running an actual route in the flats all day. Can he technically run with him all day? But like, you just line them up and you don't got to worry about it's one-on-one, right? Like, it's just a one-on-one. You're just practicing. Sure, he can stick with him. But when you're dealing with a lot of things in front of you, we still have to see Micah be able to handle that. Dealing with the receiver that can go, has an option on you. Dealing with a quarterback and a running back. And again, there's the play there where they got the isolation up the route and they got a first down on them. So athletically, Micah can deal with anybody. I just struggle with my confidence, man. Struggling with my confidence on Micah one-on-one with Cordell out the backfield. I can still be talked into him at linebacker, and I think Jacob and TC talked about these things where you have Basham, Armstrong, they can generate the pressure, then you keep Micah to utilize that sideline-to-sideline speed. So that could work. That could work. You're bringing me back a little bit, but I'm still with Micah on the edge this week because I think Micah can terrorize Matt Ryan. And I think to thwart this Falcons offense, it's all about getting to Matt Ryan. Because then it doesn't matter where Cordarrelle Patterson's at, right? It don't matter. 804, what it is, what it do.
What up, Scott? It's CJ.
What up, CJ? Let me put you up.
Hey, man. I wanted last week. It looked like Dak was just off, and it brought the whole team off, even down to the defense. And I don't know if you recognized it, but Dak didn't change a lot of plays at the line like he usually do last week.
Yeah.
Did you recognize that?
He didn't. He didn't, and like Kellen Moore said, he also didn't put them in any really good situations. I just feel like this whole game was about them thinking they could just roll out, run their regular offense, didn't do anything special. We talked about there was no pre-snap motion things going on, no jet sweeps going on.
No.
Hardly. And they had the most basic screen game. when I saw that CeeDee Lamb couldn't get involved downfield, I thought that to adapt, I would have tried to give him the ball quickly. A couple screens like they did against I think was it the Giants? Yeah, they opened up the game or the second half, one of them, immediately going to CeeDee Lamb. Get your playmakers the ball quickly. That's what Denver did, and it opened up things. So I just think it was a lackadaisical game plan followed by a lackadaisical energy out there and effort.
I hope we have a better week at practice this week. That's all I got to say. And one thing, I need Osa to get in Matt Ryan's face. If he can get through that line and get in his face, we will be all right.
Yeah.
I really think so.
Osa, Carlos Watkins, Michael Parsons, Randy Gregory, everybody in that front seven. It's about
bring Mike up through the middle. I'm trying to tell you.
That too, sure.
Field day for him.
It's about, and here's another thing that if I wanted to argue with Micah in the middle, get Micah matched up one-on-one against Jalen Mayfield. Woo! Listen, you want to talk about a mismatch, maybe you don't need to put him over there. You just say, Micah, listen, bro, we're going to crash right, or we're going to do a wide nine, a stunt, and we're going to get you one-on-one with Jalen Mayfield, and that's a mismatch all day. So they can do some things. They can do some things.
Parsons, just have fun. That's what you got to tell them.
Yeah.
Go crazy. Have fun. All right, Scott, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. Let's get 513 in the building. What's up, 513?
Hello. Yeah, I'm a Falcons fan, and I got to say, for the most part, you guys are coming at this game in the wrong way.
Huh.
You guys are great. You guys are great, and I'm not saying you're not, but Matt Ryan has seen Dan Quinn for more than just his time in Atlanta. You guys are kind of like the LOB 2.0. You're younger and faster than they were. But
hey, Falcon fan, I appreciate you calling us the LOB 2.0, brother, but we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go till we become the LOB.
Y'all are younger. That's why when I see you guys, I see a younger version of them. Y'all just like Keanu Neal is kind of like, if used right, he can be your Cam Chancellor. KZ can be your Earl Thomas if used right, because those were our guys too last year. But what I had to say is, a lot of people are saying, oh, if you just blitz Matt Ryan, that's game over. That's not necessarily
Not necessarily
true.
blitz, but pressure him, right? You don't got to get pressure, you don't got to blitz all the time.
Yeah, you can get home and you can't fluster him, but Matt Ryan is a former MVP. If you try to stack the box against him all day, okay, well, I can just check to something else.
I wouldn't stack
you guys, if you guys beat us, it's not going to be by a lot, and we're not just Cordarrelle, we're not just Kyle. We also have Olamide Zaccheaus. He had a big day against the Saints last week.
Yes, so I couldn't. Wait a minute. Can you pronounce his name? Because earlier in my film study, and I talked about it here, I said there's a cat named Olamide Z or whatever who was routing up the Saints. He had 2 touchdowns last week against the Saints. How do you say his name?
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Zaccheaus. Okay.
You guys are great defensively, and one guy said, well, Dan Quinn knows Matt Ryan's ticks, and Dan Quinn knows this, that, and the third. That's true, but there's 2 sides to every coin.
Sure.
If Dan Quinn knows Matt Ryan, then Matt Ryan also knows Dan Quinn.
But let me counter. And I enjoy this.
Sure.
I'm glad I got a Falcon fan on because you know about your team. Let me counter. If this had been Dan Quinn last year, Dan Quinn 2017, 2016, I completely 100% agree. But you've studied Dan Quinn. You've watched Dan Quinn. I don't know if you've been watching the Cowboys, but brother, this defense of scheme is not the same defensive scheme. Dan Quinn was mostly a cover 3 type of defensive coordinator where we're running a crap ton of man, some of the most man in the league, and running the most stunts in the league with a little bit different speed. So at the linebacker position with Michael Parsons. So you're right. He knows Dan Quinn, but I don't think he knows the Cowboys version of Dan Quinn because this scheme is different. Whereas the reason why we say Dan Quinn should know what gets to Matt Ryan is because as a quarterback, you don't change. You don't change what works for you, right? Your scheme may change, but you know 1, 2, 3 where I'm looking. You know his mechanics. You know what kind of gets to him, what can rattle him because he was your quarterback for 6 years. So I think if there was an advantage, Dan has the advantage as opposed to Matt Ryan. Does that make sense?
It does, but one of my favorite things about Matt Ryan that people are failing to realize, okay, well, yes, our run game isn't that great, but I looked at who we've played this year, including you guys. Tampa Bay, goon defensive line. Philadelphia, they don't have much going for them, but they have a goon defensive line. Panthers have a really good defensive line. You guys might be the best line we see until we see Tampa again.
Yo, I don't know who you is, brother, and I don't know if you're trying to do some reverse psychology spell stuff here, but that's a damn lie. And that's no disrespect to you. I'm just saying. I love the way how hard we play and things like that. But I would definitely take Tampa's defensive line. I would definitely take Philly's defensive line. I would definitely take, and that's no disrespect to Carlos Watkins and Dorrance Armstrong and those guys, but y'all have played better D lines. So I don't know, brother. I mean, I appreciate you giving us these kudos here.
I'm just saying it won't be like a lot of people are saying, hey, well, we just got to do this. Like a lot of people today have been screaming, well, put Diggs on Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Well, okay, say you put Diggs on Kyle Pitts. I'm a Bama fan, so I've been watching Diggs for years. Loved him. Loved Coop, too. You put Diggs on Kyle Pitts. What's to stop us from saying, okay, fine, Kyle, you're the decoy. Hayden Hurst, you just go out there and go eat. That's going to be your job. Kind of like how it was for Julio some games with Calvin. It's like, okay, well, everybody and their mother knows Matt Ryan loves throwing to Julio, so take him out of the game. Just run routes today. You getting a workout. Kyle Pitts, you're basically getting a workout. He's been getting doubled all year. I just say if we lose this game, it's not going to be by much, and if we win this game, it's going to be because we had short, quick passes. We didn't allow you to get to Matt Ryan as much. Jalen Mayfield has gotten better, but he is a weak link. Caleb McGarry has gotten better, but he isn't as good as he should be. Matt Hennessy, our center, he's hitting. I mean, he's a huge step down from Alex Mack. I mean, whoever you brought in outside of a Pro Bowl center was just going to be a huge step down. That was one move we made I didn't agree with. What you guys have in Dallas is what Atlanta failed to give Dean Quinn in Atlanta. You guys have a defense that is night and day better. I think the best four players on our defense as it stands right now is Foyesade Oluokun, who
that linebacker.
Good linebacker.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to talk about him tomorrow. Yeah.
54. Deion Jones, you already know what you're getting out of Deion Jones. He's a great linebacker.
A.J. Terrell's balling this year.
A.J. Terrell has not given up a touchdown this year. Grady Jarrett is still Grady Jarrett.
Grady Jarrett.
But that's just about it as far as it goes. I think Dean Pease can scheme a game to maybe frustrate you guys. If I were you guys, I wouldn't worry about trying to just pound the ball with quick, short passes.
Well, let me tell you, what's your name, Atlanta fan? What's your name?
My name is Aaron. I mean, I live in Ohio now, but I've been a Falcons fan my whole life.
Cool.
I just wanted to call in and give a Falcons perspective on the game. This is my first time finding your show. So I found it this morning, and I got a little bit flustered because everybody's coming at this from a Cowboys standpoint. Like, yeah, we're going to do this, that, and the third to Atlanta. I'm like, hold on now.
But that's our fans are going to feel. We don't know. Our fans don't know the Falcons like you know the Falcons. That's why I appreciate you calling in, Aaron. And if you don't mind, to call in tomorrow when I go over the Falcons defense, because I'm not going to address everything you said defensively because I want to save that for tomorrow's show. In fact, I don't even know if you're going to be able to call in tomorrow because I might be doing a joint show, but if I'm not
able to call in tomorrow, there is another Falcons personality on YouTube and Twitter that you may want to reach out to. He's like the voice of our team. His name is Mad Mike, but I will try to call in tomorrow. But basically, I just wanted to give a Falcons fan's perspective on the game. It's like we do have weapons. A lot of people are used to the Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, or the Julio, Calvin Ridley days. We have weapons. Matt Ryan has done more with less. He is a former MVP. Maybe what I'm about to say may be blasphemy to some people, but the man will go into the Hall of Fame one day. Not first ballot, but he will. He's this era's Dan Marino, if you want to think about it. Doesn't have a ring, has the great numbers. That's how I feel about Matt Ryan.
I'm not even mad at you. I'm not mad at you talking up your quarterback.
I just wanted to say, hey, if we win, it's not gonna be like, hey, we blew you out, because no Falcons game in the history of my lifetime, outside of maybe a few, where we just won a game from start to finish. I'm a Falcons fan.
Aaron, let me tell you this: ain't no blowouts happening. Ain't no blowouts happening if y'all win this game. Not happening. Y'all 6 games in a row. This has been 1-score games, including the 4 victories. And Dallas just got smacked last week, so you're gonna get a pissed off, hungry Cowboys team. That ain't happening. Yeah. So
if we win, I see a Young Hoku kick late. If we win, it's going to be him late. But I would advise for some Cowboys fans to go take a look at Matt Ryan because he does do well when he's under pressure. If he knows he's going up against a team that's going to blitz a lot, he is a quick QB.
I listen, and I appreciate you, Aaron. Right, like I said, tune in tomorrow. All right, brother, and keep tuning in.
Thank you.
Matter of fact. Oh, do you know a Evan Birchfield?
No, I cannot say that I do.
Okay, he covers the Falcons for the Falcoholic. I was going to try to bring him in this week and talk to him from Falcons.
I know who Kevin Knight is from the Falcoholic.
Okay, so you know the Falcoholic, though.
Falcoholic. So I watch them from time to time, but
Okay.
I mostly watch Atlanta Falcons Nation. But I just wanted to say thank you for giving me a chance to give a Falcons fan perspective. I know this is a Cowboys show, and I hope I wasn't disrespectful to your team and
not at all.
fans. I just wanted to give a Falcons fan's perspective because, you know, a lot of people dump on us. You know, Stephen A. Smith, if Matt Ryan blinks, he has a problem with it. So I just had to come in here and defend my boy.
All good,
Ain't
Aaron.
nobody else doing it.
Appreciate you, dog.
Like how he was.
So, no problem, man. So, hey, man, I was actually I appreciate that. I appreciate that because it's always good to get a different perspective, and that's why I'm trying to bring in Evan Birchfield from the Falcoholic. And I got you north of the star. I got you, brother. And I apologize for letting him go long, but he was saying some things I was interested in hearing about his team, and that's why I invite opposite fans to come in to give us their fan perspective. But boy, he was talking up Matt Ryan like he out here just slanging it. Pause. Like he's out here just killing dudes, and he's great against the blitz. I'm telling you, he's not. He has 4 interceptions when he's blitzed this year to 6 touchdowns. When he's under pressure, his numbers tank. And this isn't new, Aaron. Like, you know this, Aaron. You don't come on here talking about that Matt Ryan's a former MVP, Aaron. When did Matt Ryan win the MVP? Let me go see. 2015? 6 years ago? Aaron. Hey, dog. Hey, Ron. We don't do that here, bro. I call out the food. I call out the foo-foo. That's foo-foo. Matt Ryan, very serviceable, respectable quarterback. We talked about that at the top of the show. Matt Ryan can make all the throws. Matt Ryan can call the defense or call the offense. He can get you in the right play, etc., etc. It's not bad to say your quarterback he struggles when it's pressure. He struggles when things are, it's traffic around him. That happens. He will definitely try to make the throw with pressure around him. And that's what you want from Matt Ryan because he's not an off-angle thrower. He's not a Patty Mahomes, a Matt Stafford, a Lamar Jackson or anything like that. So, yeah, Matt Ryan can get the job done. Matt Ryan ain't out here playing like no MVP, bro. What up, Vach? Vach probably pulling me back right now. What up, Vach? What you want to call in, bro? You said Sky. What you got, man? You want to call in, bro? North, I'm gonna let you get in here, North. What's up, North?
Not much. I was just no problem waiting either. I was just calling him with the mic at linebacker. I prefer him to stay at linebacker, I think, just because last week, those where he got his sacks, those are like, for me, that's like perfect for Matt Ryan, too, because he's not going to move around a lot. So if you can get Micah up the middle like that, I like that. And also, going back to kind of the Dan Quinn and knowing each other, we also have 2 defenders that Matt Ryan knows, and they know Matt Ryan. And I'm not too big if they get Neal on Pitts, and I'm pretty sure Matt Ryan's going to know how to attack that matchup.
Oh, I don't want to see Neal on Pitts. I mean.
No, I don't want to see that.
Don't want to see Neal on Pitts, man.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking if Parsons are playing more at DE, you got to play LV and Neal then, and then he's going to be able to maybe pick some mismatches, either be Patterson on Neal or Pitts on Neal. So it kind of goes both ways, like if he knows the defender better, but I think he can probably pick on Neal if he gets him in a matchup that he likes.
Yeah, I think I like the J-Ron. I know J-Ron kind of got on one of those passes against the Falcons when he lined up out wide. But I think if I can get J-Ron Curse on Pitts in the slot due to the size and physicality, I think I can live with that. And then obviously, if I can travel Diggs in the slot, I'll do it. Like I said, I would treat him kind of like they treated Mike Evans.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris let up that playback. That tight end is talented, and he gave that one up, but I think he played all right for the rest of the game. Like, when it was 16 points, our defense, as bad as it looked, it was not stopping the run and not getting the ball back. That was really what was killing us.
It was the offense.
They were doing okay. Our offense
didn't help them.
Once that block punt didn't happen, you knew it wasn't the day.
Yeah, well, when you're off, like I said, when your offense goes downs, punt, interception, field goal, or whatever, it was downs, punt, pick, like that, and no plays, no series. I'm sorry, went over 5 plays except one, and that was the interception, I think. So yeah, it's your offense has to help a defense that is not this elite defense. I got fooled. Fool's gold. I got fooled against the Vikings. I definitely talked them up and said, shoot, if they can do that against the Vikings. But then the real issues popped back up. There were always issues. It wasn't like it was something new. It was just kind of got shocked as a reminder that you're still a developing defense, a middling defense. Really, that's all we need to be, is a middling defense that's opportunistic. I got a little ahead of myself thinking they could be elite.
Yeah, and I like what the one caller was saying earlier. I think it's just a good matchup for the Cowboys. The one thing that bugged me last week, and no one's really Gallup. It sounds like Gallup probably could have played, and they held him out. And then you seen there where it just wasn't working with Amari or CD. Why not have that option dressed?
Bro,
that could have been.
I don't even know if it would have mattered. Dak was off.
No, I don't know if. Kellen I don't want to say it would have mattered.
Kellen was off.
Yeah, I just don't like. Okay, we were stretching, giving people extra time. Now you got that one loss. Okay, let's get people guys back in here. Let's get some bodies at this.
To be fair on the decision, it's not like Cedric Wilson wasn't holding the weight down. Like, he was doing his thing. So if extra time, it's a calf injury, extra time, you could afford it, right? You could afford it. The guy that subbed in for him was playing well. So no one went into this game thinking that they would play like that. But now he's back. They had to have him back, I think. I don't think he could not be back or he'd be on IR because he came off of he came in that 21-day window, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, for our offense, I think one of the advantages is we have a lot of weapons that we got so many options. So for you to have that option and just to give him an extra week, you could have had him on a plan, like the plays, like amount of plays you wanted to play him. I just think you robbed yourself of an option when.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you think Michael Gallup changed the outcome of that game?
No, I'm not going to say, because obviously nothing looked right, but maybe he doesn't play early or he's just giving you something. I don't know. Like, I just like to have that option there if he was healthy.
Sure, I can argue getting Michael Gallup to play last week just to get him back into the swing of things. So now in the Atlanta game, he's not trying to get back in the swing of things. I could argue that.
Yeah, and I said it kind of a couple weeks ago when I said Gallup. I said, first week I want him to play. I want it to look like he's not going to play all week. So that team would have had, like, you could have had stuff designed specifically for Michael Gallup that they haven't seen in the last 6 weeks.
Brother North, bro, it didn't matter. We tried some herky-jerky, smoke screen stuff to Michael Gallup. I go, hey, look over here. He ain't playing. Then he plays, bro. Dak was off. Kellen was off. The line couldn't block. It was just one of those games. That's all, man. That's all. But we'll get it back.
And it was across the league, really. So, anyways, have a good week, Scott. We'll see if I get in later.
Appreciate you, man. Let's get you 215. What's up, 215?
How you doing, Scott?
I'm good. 215. Is that over there in Philly?
Good.
You in Philly area?
I'm in Philly, young fella.
You in enemy territory. I used to be over there.
Good. I just heard the other day you from PA?
Yes, sir. Harrisburg, 717.
Cool. Yeah, I'm 55 years old, my man. So I've been in this Philly hate for, all my life.
Long time,
70s, 60s, baby. Yeah, I've seen a lot of football. First thing I want to say is I really appreciate you young brothers with your platforms, you, Botch, Law, Foots, all the other guys. I really appreciate that. I'm getting my daughter to set me up so I can start sending some cheddar to you guys.
Oh, man, appreciate that.
Really love to support you guys. And I want to be kind of a regular, but, I'm old head in this game, working, trying to schedule my next future, my life. So I'm going to start.
Good luck with your next part of your life, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing some traveling and doing some nonprofit. So I'm going to be around.
All right, man. What you got for us?
Yeah. A couple of things. First time caller, so I want to try to get. I know I don't have all day, but a couple of things. Last week, I noticed that you and Holly. I know Holly mentioned that he doesn't like trick plays, and I'm a firm believer, especially in a game like last week, where nothing is going right. I'm a firm believer, and I'm not no mastermind. I've seen a lot, but I'm a firm believer that you go into every game with, and I don't even call it trick gadget. I don't like that term, but it is what it is.
Right.
But just come with some off-schedule plays, maybe one a half. I just don't understand why, like you said, Dak was off, Moore was off. When everything is off, can you sneak a tackle out in the flat, a fullback out in the flat, a tight end sprinkle? Can you get sprinkle out in a flat on a 3rd and 1? Do something that the league hasn't seen yet.
Right.
And I just don't understand how you go in on a game like this and not have something in your bag. Not saying that we would have won, but just keep the defense off schedule. What's your thoughts on that? Then I have another question for you.
I think I would have tried to go with more, I hate to say conservative. I don't want to use that term. But something to get Dak into a rhythm as opposed to a trick play. You talked about getting Sprinkle out in the flat or one of the tight ends out in the flat. Yeah, get him some easy throws to get him in the rhythm because he didn't have any. And then by the time that the Broncos, and I looked over to Jesse, and I said this to Jesse, when it was the first 4th and 1 play, I think, wasn't it? Was it 4th and – no, it was 3rd and short.
4th and 1 was the first one.
No, there was a third. So there was a 3rd and short play. I think Dallas was down 13 or 16-0, and they still had a chance to kind of get back into the game. And instead of Dak Prescott literally either running for the first down or just dumping it off for an easy first down, he tried to get 16 points in one play. And what happened was I think this entire team started to press. You had the defense kept trying to strip the ball instead of tackling. You had Dak Prescott trying to get 13 points on one play instead of just getting the first down. So I think I would have tried to get Dak in a rhythm. It felt like, and this was a great analogy I think I heard Dave Hellman say, it felt like those boys was playing Madden out there in the sense of, I'm a scorer. No matter what they do, I'm going to score. And by the time that it hit them, like, oh, snap, this game is out of hand, it was too late. So, I hear you. I'm not opposed to having like a gadgety play per half. And they've kind of done that. We've seen Cedric Wilson, right? We've seen CD Lamb in the backfield. And for whatever reason, bro, they were just not. Kellen Moore was not on his game. Dak Prescott was not on his game. Right. You can't have both of those guys off of their games on the same day.
Right. You agree. I mean, I agree. And I've been asking for the CD in the backfield. I used to ask for I never understood why, and not to get off track, but I never understood why we didn't put Dez in the backfield a little bit more because he's an aggressive runner, punt returner, natural.
You know, who was the head coach? Who was the head coach at that time? Who was the play coach? Who was the offensive coordinator?
But listen, I understand. But when I came up as a ball player, it was like, dude, can I contribute something to this week? Can I just let you guys know, everyone in the league, every top offensive player or defensive corner, everybody played cornerback in youth. Everybody played quarterback up until a certain point. So everybody has a certain type of skill set where they can do different things. Like, can I at least just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
just try me at this.
Jason,
put Zeke as the Wildcat and let him do the jump pass.
Listen,
at the goal line.
Jason Garrett ain't the creative type like that. Sometimes he'll catch you off. He'll catch you by surprise and hit you with a little flea flicker. I think the flea flicker is the oldest trick play in the book. He'll hit you with a little flea flicker. They do a little reverse, double reverse or something like that. But Scott Linehan, Jason Garrett was your play card. They not as creative as Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I agree. All right, one more question before I let you go.
Yep.
Well, two quick questions. One, the young 79 that filled in for Tyron Smith last week, why not start him this week, last week, since he was already getting a feel for the play? Why put Still over there when he never played it before?
All right, let's talk about it. I'm gonna talk about that off the line. All right.
All right. One more question. Oh. I'm sorry.
Two more then.
One more question. I'm sorry. One more question. If you go back and watch the All-22, when we did the jet sweep 2 weeks ago with Pollard, I heard Foote say you never do the jet sweep at the goal line.
What?
Jet sweep would have worked because Zeke blasted his man into the end zone like 4 yards. Pollard took the wrong lane. Did you see that?
I would argue the jet sweep at the goal line is one of the toughest ones to defend because all he needs is 2-3 yards. That's all he needs. But yeah,
exactly. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Thank you for the call.
Peace. All right.
Ty Nsekhe. I think he, and we'll probably talk about this tomorrow. It sounds like Terrence Steele was going to be the guy over there. But again, it's one game. But based off that one game, Terrence Steele does not look like a left tackle. Our guy, Duke Manyweather, who I'm still trying to get on the dang on show, he said the Cowboys essentially just have an LT2 and an RT2. There is no swing. And based off of one game, it looked like that to me. It looked like Steele was not a swing yet. He's still developing to be that guy. I just don't see them doing a whole bunch of musical chairs like putting Collins at left tackle, and then I don't see it happening. But he asked why did they put Ty Nsekhe on the bench for Terrence Steele? Because Terrence Steele kind of earned it, right? Like Terrence Steele played well at right tackle, so he earned the ability to swing because he was the quote unquote swing. He was a swing. Ty Nsekhe against the Vikings was bad. Ty Nsekhe was getting bullied. Wonder if a week of practice as a starter would have helped him. Maybe, who knows? But he wasn't good. So I get that. Going into this game, if they decide to say, yo, you was so bad, Terrence, that we're going to put Ty in, I really honestly don't know how to feel about it. Because that's how bad Terrence was. I don't know how I feel about it. Let me get 229, then I'm going to get you Reek, and we going to rock out. What's up, 229?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. Listen, man, I'm a long time listener, first time caller.
Thank you.
And I watched the game, man, and when you come out flat for a game like that, you know what I mean, and you give them the momentum. At fourth down, that gave them all the momentum to start the spark in their team. You punt that ball, man, and you play defense. It just seemed like they came out flat, man. They weren't prepared. I saw, is it 26, is Jordan Lewis?
Yeah.
Man, I saw this guy standing on the sideline with his arms folded.
Yeah, the energy was not there. The vibe was not there, and I can't explain it. I don't know. I'm not in that locker room. All I can do is try to read between the lines from the players and the coaches, and they all sounded like they kind of was full of themselves. Leighton Vander Esch said, we needed this, and they pushed him a little bit. What do you mean? Just know we needed this. We needed to kind of get punched in the mouth to realize we're in a fight.
Right, exactly. And I mean, in the course of a season, man, you need these type of games right here. You need to get kind of brought back down. We was high. We was listening to Skip and Shannon and all of that. We bought all of it.
I wouldn't.
You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, whoever's listening to Skip and Shannon, I urge you to save your brain cells. That's all.
You're right. But listen, man. I check you guys out all the time, man.
Thanks, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It's Cowboys. I'm calling from a 229, but I'm Miami, man. I'm 305. You know what I mean?
305.
We got a lot of 305 Cowboy fans here, man. And we've been rocking for a long time. We went through all the Jason Garrett and Campos and all the bad stuff, man.
Hey, well, 305. Keep holding it down for us, 305. All right?
And for sure, man.
Appreciate the call, brother.
No problem.
Steven said Okoye showed the lack of pursuit. Yeah, so tomorrow, that's who I got to reach out to him. I should probably have on here tomorrow to break down the Falcons defense. And I guess we can briefly go over a little bit of the Broncos. But I'm trying to throw that one behind, right? Like that's done. Let's see how the Cowboys can match up against these boys here. Let me see. Mark says still definitely showed he's not a swing. That game he sure as hell did. Yeah, and we'll talk more about it. My man Vosh says, "Still, you a gentleman." Well, man, listen, Vosh, you know me you know me behind the scenes as well. But yeah, I try to be respectful. I try to let everybody get their takes off and things like that. But sometimes, see, you wasn't here earlier. Sometimes I gotta shut some of the dumb stuff down. Reek, what's up, bro? Close us out, man.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, what's up, Sky? What's up, Cowboy Nation? Let's get them shares and them likes.
Yes, sir.
That's popping in the chat. You know what I mean? We be lacking sometime out here, Cowboy Nation. All this good footage, this good content that we get in footage and highlights. Yo, man, show Sky some respect, right?
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man. What I wanted to say was this, man. First of all, I know Leighton Vander Esch said something, I'll be on his behind. He's right in a sense, but at the same time, he shouldn't be the one saying it. Because he get punched in the mouth every week. So that's besides the point. My whole thing is, I said it before, you got to get if you know that Terrence Steele is not that good on the left side, man, you got to get the ball out your hand faster. You can't hold on to the ball all day and expect to get it downfield.
Yeah.
Dak missed on some things. But my thing is, Kellen Moore called a bland game. He didn't come into the game aggressive like he normally has been doing when we've been standing up for these big name teams. You know what I mean? Or pretty good teams, as far as the Bucks and I say the Chargers.
But you know what was most not concerning but frustrating that we hadn't seen from this team offensively or defensively all year, coaching staff wise. It's not even that. I get it. Boom, you came out, you was bland, you got caught off guard, quote unquote, because that's what they said. They got caught off guard. The problem I had, and I say had because until I see it become a pattern, I won't say I have a problem. But the problem I had was that there was no adjustments made. And all year, Kellen and Dan had been adjusting greatly at halftime or doing something in that third quarter. We'd have our best quarter. I don't think they adjusted. I think they came out with the same style, the same plays. Like you said, Terrence Steele was getting whooped. This reminded me of the Browns game last year where, you got Terrence Steele on an island against Myles Garrett. Sure, there's no Myles Garrett over there. It didn't matter because Terrence Steele was getting whooped. So why not kind of get the ball out quickly, get some extended handoffs like we saw in that Bucks game. Do something to protect your tackle, and he didn't.
Yeah, because people have been saying that Lyell is kind of gimpy. He's not looking like himself.
He's
you
clearly
know what I mean? And my whole thing
winded.
is
he gets winded because he's not in game shape. We need to get him in shape. But that's what I see.
That's true. That's true, too. But at the same time, too, is Terrence still better than him in the run game? Because a couple times that I've seen last week, even though we know he's not in game shape, a couple times I've seen last week with him, he wasn't pushing the pile on that right-hand side like that nastiness that Terrence still had over there. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen people getting pancaked. I didn't see people getting pancaked over there on that side. But when Terrence Steele was over there, people was getting pancaked. People was on the ground. People jerseys was getting dirty. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it didn't matter who was on the. I think Lyell was fine in the run game. But if we want to do if we want to do nuances, did he pancake somebody? I mean, I guess, but I don't think it had anything to do with like one-on-ones more so than it had to do with a numbers game. They couldn't run the ball because they literally put more numbers in the box, and Dak never got out of it. Dak decided to run into some of these weird alignments, and it hurt the Cowboys. So yeah, did he have these highlight plays, pancake play? I think we should probably not talk about pancakes when it comes to because we start festering on highlights, right? Was La'el Collins good enough at right tackle? I think up until the fourth quarter, when that holding penalty had, La'el held up well. I mean, the first view I watched, I said that, and then I said, let me go back and watch the All-22, and then that justified what I was saying. The fourth quarter for La'el was a struggle because that boy got winded. You saw him. He had a little thing on his face and everything. For whatever reason,
Yeah,
Russ not in shape
I've
right
seen
now.
that part.
And when he's not in shape, he plays over his toes. He starts to hold. He starts to bear hug. And you can't have that. But you're talking about the run game. I mean, nobody was good in the run game. Nobody. Zach Martin wasn't good in the run game. Zach Martin hasn't been great in the run game.
But my thing is his surgeries, his injuries catching up to him a little bit? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying, because like I seen last night, people was talking about he's looking a little gimpy. You know what I mean? And I understand we saying that we got to let him get back in game shape and all that. But what if his injuries are lingering over? Because this dude he wasn't the best at coming in shape and coming in and
this year
stuff like that.
He came in shape this year. I don't know if y'all remember the videos. The dude he's a workout warrior. I mean, he's a little six pack and all that stuff. He came in shape. Coming into the season out of shape wasn't an issue. He was in shape. But you're asking me, is his surgeries, is his injuries catching up to him? That I don't know. I'm not Britt Brown. I'm not in there. I'm not Lyle. I'm not the players. That is something that's going to have to leak out. If Lyle is literally having problems with his hip or something like that, then that is a problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I expected him to come in here with a nastiness. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like pissed off, nasty, because this young dude done took my job. I'm mad as hell, and I'm playing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm playing like a man on fire. Anybody get in my way, I'm knocking you down. You know what I mean? But at the same time, too, it's a team sport.
I was just about to say, we got to be careful with that. We got to be careful with that. I don't want to say, I keep using mad, but this is real life, right? Like, this is real life.
Yeah.
There's players on that other side of the field with the same mentality, right? And you have to judge these players off of all 65 snaps of these games. So, while you want Lyle to pancake everybody every single play, that just ain't happening. I don't give a damn how it gets. And it's not you. This is my thing here. Lyle and Terrence are two different style of players. That's number one. Number two, I don't care how either one of them get it done. Does it get done? Right? I don't care if it's a pancake. I don't care if it's just a regular block. I don't care just get it done. That's all I care about, Reek.
Yeah, I understand that, man. Only point I was trying to make is I know La'el Collins is an All-Pro. He's a great player. I get that.
I wouldn't call him an All-Pro. In 2019, he had a Pro Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. He a Pro Bowler.
Mm.
You know,
he's Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowl.
Lineman.
He's a Pro Bowl talent. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, Pro Bowl talent. But at the same time, too, I just seen something. I'm not trying to say Terrence Steele is a Pro Bowl talent and all that, but he was playing real good. And I've seen when he was over there on that right side, the nastiness that he was playing with, and getting to that second level with his blocks. I'm not seeing that. I didn't see that last week with La'el. And I know we're going to say the man out of shape. I mean, like, he got winded. He got to play himself back into game shape.
He does.
But when he plays himself back into game shape, is we going to see him getting to the second level like we've seen Terrence Steele get to that second level.
Do you
Even
think,
though we know,
just don't mince your words. Do you think La'el Collins is a bad football player right now? Don't mince him, because I don't think he's a bad football player. Okay.
But I do think that his injuries. I do think that he's a little gimpy. I just really believe that. You know what I mean?
So you think
that's just me.
You think the injuries are catching up to La'el Collins right now?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
So you
want
to bench La'el Collins? And you want to put him on the bench?
Hell no. Nah. I wouldn't say that. I bench Williams before I bench Collins. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be honest. I put him in that left tackle before I bench him. I'm not saying bench the man, but I'm just saying I know they're gonna have to do some shuffling on that line to see what works without Smith. I get that part too. But yeah, I don't want to hold the lines up, man. I'm just saying what I'm thinking, man, because it looks different. The line looks different, and I know because T. Smith is out.